We are here eating at this haunted restaurant. So I'd love to investigate this place, and I'm going to find out if I can. But this is supposedly one of the most haunted inns in America. So I'm actually shocked that I haven't heard about this place before, but it has an insane history, and people have actually been murdered inside here. There have been deaths upstairs and downstairs. So it'll be interesting to find out the rest of the history of this place and bring it to you guys. But right now we're going to find out if the food here is good or not. So stay tuned. Spooktober.
Welcome to Chepachet, Rhode Island, and Tavern on the Main. Built in the 1700s on a stone foundation and originally a 2.5-story colonial, the beams and the beautiful timbers throughout the building are still evident today. The village of Chepachet, Rhode Island, was the location of the most controversial political upheaval in Rhode Island history. The struggle for power urged Governor King to order a call to arms to Dorr's rebellion. Thomas Dorr was a well-respected lawyer and was elected by the people, but Samuel King refused to step down. The King's troops arrived for battle atop a Cody's Hill cemetery on Route 44. Dorr, seeing how outnumbered he was, withdrew the night before the King's men arrived, but they still came, and the troops shot right through the tavern door, where one man was struck in the leg. Jedediah Spragg was kept up on the tavern until 1842 and had no choice but to allow the king and his men food, alcohol, and shelter. This takeover lasted throughout the summer. Since then, the tavern has witnessed many new owners throughout its time and many changes, from an apartment building, a billiard, a pub, a restaurant, and back to its roots with a new tavern keeper, continuing to maintain its great popularity today. In this haunted tavern, don't be surprised to eat dinner with a ghost, because the paranormal activity here is endless, and there are at least 5 spirits that haunt its dwellings. Locals will tell you it's undoubtedly the most haunted place in Rhode Island. The ghost of the original tavern keeper is a regular at the restaurant, along with a woman often seen in the back booth, otherwise known as Alice. The name correction came one night from Alice during an EVP session where patrons called her Elizabeth, and Alice corrected them. Thomas Dorr, who led the rebellion, is also said to haunt the building. The place has had an extremely busy history, including a murder in the 1970s and countless more stories. In the 1700s, author H.P.Lovecraft would stop in during his travels north and search for the Black Swamp. The hole in the door from the rebellion is still there on original doors, just patched up, and a little boy wearing a baseball cap has been seen in the ladies' room. There's an exclusive table called the King's Chair, where paranormal activity is very active. Temperature change, apparitions, and broken glass can all be experienced here. One guest who laughed about the place being haunted had a TV dropped on his head, while another investigator was hit by a washboard in front of a crowd of people.
Also, there's a story. So there was a man who liked this female, and he came into the tavern one night to eat, and he came in here and saw her sitting with another man holding her hand or whatever it was. Later on in the evening, she was by the bathroom, and he murdered her right there. So I will go into the bathroom afterwards and show you guys that, see if we can kind of catch any ghosts in the women's room. We are in the women's bathroom, and the female that was murdered right outside of these bathroom walls by her jealous boyfriend, or jealous person that just wanted to be her boyfriend.
Another interesting fact about Tavern on the Main is what I spoke about earlier in H.P. Lovecraft and his travels here while searching for the Dark Swamp. Now, the Dark Swamp is located in northwestern Rhode Island, and it's haunted by a creature called It. The Native Americans had great knowledge of this creature, and there was even documentation of people encountering this creature, one man being Albert Hicks, who set out on his journey of buried treasure. He was a pirate there, and in the 1840s, while digging, he said he saw scales and flaming eyes that breathed fire. He ran away, and he never came back. And by the way, pirates don't scare easy. Around 1896, a man named Neil Hopkins was chased by the creature when walking home. He said it was a large creature that sounded like steel. People would not go near or into this swamp that was dark and where the sun does not shine. There are several accounts of people going missing here, either drowned or simply disappeared. He never did find, through that liquid mud, in that dense forest full of phenomenon, a zone of complete silence with abandoned 19th century buildings that had collapsed, as well as an abandoned cemetery. This creature, it, remains a mystery. You can still see the swamp on a 12-point italic on the earliest U.S. Geological Survey map, where men would go out hunting, never to return.